Matt Watson has small hands too.
The shape of this steering wheel is all wrong. So it's quite narrowish here, but then it's very, very deep. And if you like to hold it at like 2:45 like I do, it's just like you're holding onto a brick, not a steering wheel. I mean, look at that. Look at the chunkiness of that.
He also didn't appreciate the shape of the Fisker Ocean steering wheel, so I guess that makes two of us on planet Earth. The steering wheel shape is undesirable at best. The new CARWOW review covered all the stuff. Boost mode, taco tray, underfloor cubbies, solar panel, and that's the first big news from this video. The example that CARWOW was driving seemed to have one of the iterations of software version 2.0, and that meant solar data was available. This makes sense because others seem to have received it in Europe, and good news, on top of the solar data, the phantom drain is improved, hill hold seems to work, and the key fob performance seems to have made a step forward as well. There are multiple iterations of software 2.0, so we don't know what version it was, but the rumor is 2.0 is 3 parts. And as far as the solar, I don't want to speculate on how much range you'll get because I don't know where you live. The CARWOW review even featured features you can't use yet, like vehicle to load.
You can even plug it into your house to run your house on electricity.
As well as the beeps and bongs and dings and dongs.
Beep and a bong and a bong and a beep and a beep and a bong and a bong and a beep.
Beeps and bongs, dings and dongs. Beeps and bongs, dings and dongs.
They liked the design.
Because for a family-friendly electric SUV, it looks good.
His key fob worked.
I'm just going to unlock it so you can see the light sequence at the back.
Also fun to point out, the top comment on this video at the time of recording was this. I addressed that in my last video. Check it out if you like. And if you weren't upset at Matt Watson yet, well,
there's no Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which just really, really does my head in. Now, I know that you don't have that with a Tesla, but I do find the Tesla system and their sat-nav better than the one in this car.
I've put both of those vehicles to the test in the past. Comparison here. He tosses the cargo cover, quotes the stats, including the range. Did I just laugh out loud? Sorry. I meant WLTP range, but maybe we should call it the Get Stranded range. And he quotes 250 kilowatts max DC, which if you've actually ever seen that, please link those videos below. Then he drives it.
The suspension feels like the springs aren't quite firm enough and the dampers aren't strong enough. The brakes feel a bit odd. 4.17 and the quarter mile is going to be 12.9.
And the conclusion.
Well, I reckon you should consider the Fisker Ocean.
And with that, let's get into your comments. Oh, the title. You wanted to talk about the title. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the title.
And a beep and a bong and a bong and a beep.
That probably explains it right there. On to the comments. And normally I read through them and quote examples, but pretty much all of them are from this last video, so I'll just prepare one single response. Let me pitch a scenario for you. You have a massive following, and you want to generate as much engagement as you can to, number one, build your following further, and number two, increase the reach of your current video. Almost every car reviewer that knows what they're doing does this. Some don't have to because they're big enough, and some don't need to because they're not big enough to be credible enough to make these kind of judgments. Here's the pitch. Omit one extremely important fact. Dramatize a feature as if it was impossible to properly utilize at the fault of the manufacturer, and slip in one purposeful and deliberate inaccuracy. Remember, these channels are designed to entertain first and inform second. If that's not the order, you don't get the numbers. There's also a fourth one that I didn't mention yet. Remember the scenario for later, it'll make sense. Stick around, I'll explain more. The vehicle was from a Mitsubishi dealership. It was not purchased. I'm sure it was a loaner because if you're that person and you go to a Mitsubishi dealership and ask for a loaner, they should probably give you one, which is something Fisker did not do, obviously. There's a lot more to the reaction to this vehicle than what's probably on the surface. And the reason he borrowed a dirty car from a Mitsubishi dealership is obviously because he got in contact with Fisker and got the cold shoulder, like many of us have. That was a mistake. It's kind of like launching a vehicle with no service infrastructure or delivery ramp-up plan. Those are also mistakes. This video was for the uninformed driver and was addressed from that point of view, regardless of the knowledge of the team. It was also a stepping stone for that channel to greatly increase viewership, subscribership, and engagement. And it was successful at all three. So why was this tactic employed? It's because, as far as this car, there's nothing left to say. We've already reviewed this car. It's been in tens of thousands of people's hands already. We've been test driving it and reviewing it and watching videos about it. Nothing in that video was going to be new or discovery or surprise. And that's not how it normally works for this reviewer. Normally, it's the first 5 hours after the embargo these videos drop. No one has touched these things before. They've never been around them. That's how it normally works for this channel. So they needed a tactic. Omit one extremely important fact. That's the underfloor storage. Dramatize a feature. That's the rotating screen. One blatant inaccuracy. NACS. It is coming. And finally, that fourth one I didn't mention earlier, a once per channel title. You can only say it's the worst you've ever reviewed once. You put all those things together and the magic happens. And that's exactly what happened with this review. I understand if you disagreed with my last video, but I looked at it from his point of view, from the creator's point of view. I contacted this company. They wouldn't let me have an example. I will make an example of them. There's no mystery here. There's no conspiracy. It's that simple. He's not the only creator doing this. Other people do it too. I'm either going to make a video that's good or I'm going to make a video that's the truth, which is obviously not good enough for you to give me the vehicle. It's not cool that it happened this way, but this is someone defending their reputation and letting the world know that Fisker would not cooperate. So that's the CARWOW review, a little teaser about Software 2.0, and some insights on your recent comments. Subscribe for more, and have you ever seen the Chevy Equinox EV in person? I have. I was very disappointed. Find out why here. We'll see you on the next one. Oh, when I renamed the channel, let me know your thoughts. See you next time.
Hey! Smash the like button!
Thank you.